Round one, fight!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Grim Reaper Gamers ReaperCast. The Grim Reaper Gamers are a 25 and over gaming community with members spanning the globe playing games across all genres with our roots in first-person shooters. Bring your thick skin, drink a choice, and grab your controllers. GRG members are on nightly with official community nights every Wednesday. How the hell are you, Reapers? This is Johnny Hustler reporting in once again with the ReaperCast, and we've got a loaded panel and a loaded show for you, so let's not waste a hell of a lot of time. Let's start the introductions. As usual, the first person I will introduce is my intrepid co-host, the guy that keeps me in check, the guy that makes me wonder why the hell I do all this shit. Reporting from Camp Titicaca, Jammer, how the hell are you? What you drinking? What you playing?
I just like when you say titty. Thank you.
I like it too.
I'm really glad that we have a very large cast because we're well-trained professionals and we have a very detailed agenda that we stand by. And looking at that agenda, I don't know anything about anything that's on it. So I'm just going to make shit up and anger Jack. So I'm in good shape tonight. I'm looking forward to that because he's got a little tin of red already that I can see. And also I am drinking I still hold it up to the camera because I'm just not that bright, a Stella.
Are you playing anything or camp counselor looking at the form you're in?
Jack makes me work too hard.
All right.
Need to work harder. I'm paying you too much to slack off.
Going down the line, that voice you hear is the grimmest of all Reapers. The man who is the man behind the tomato meter, the 10,000 quart cups in the painting behind him, and said he once worked at a Kmart. Lala Calamari, Jack, how the hell are you? What you drinking? What you playing?
Nothing beats a blue light special.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine your anger levels working at a Kmart.
So what I'm drinking a couple Oktoberfest right now. I got a Penn Brewery Oktoberfest, and I have a Great Lakes one, which I'm excited to try. I just bought a 6-pack of that, so I'll have one of those later on in the show. And I am playing, believe it or not, Warcraft. Started a new character with the new expansion pack, and also playing some Destiny and some Battlefield 1.
Hey, John.
Little known fun fact here, the blue light was actually developed by Kmart by Lala Calamari when he choked the shit out of a customer that pissed him off.
That's very likely. I would like to announce how this is our last cast of the ReaperCast, because since Jack runs the website and now he's going to World of Warcraft. Next week it will be Kyocera the Great on his alliance with Kahura from BDO and MMO talk.
Yes, we're transitioning to World of Warcraft only.
I have no clue what you all just talked about there, but okay.
Moving on.
Speaking of, that voice there comes to you from the great country of Texas. The wall hasn't been built yet. He can still get through to us by communication, barely. He had to use his phone tonight. Texas Reaper crew, how the heck are you? How long do you have to get a passport to come over?
That's a great question, actually. I need to look into that. I just want to point out how much effort I have to go through to be a part of this and put my 2 cents in. I have to do something special on my phone just to be able to talk to you guys.
It's because you're in a foreign country.
That is true.
International.
I would consider it worth it, though.
I agree. I'm glad to be here. I'm drinking water tonight, actually. So go ahead and say what you want. Been playing some Ark today, actually, with that new expansion. Destiny, Battlefield 1, here and there, when the servers work. That's it.
So you're not playing Battlefield 1. Okay, we got that.
Hey, Texas.
I had today off, actually, so I was able to off and on try it and got a handful of games in. So.
There you go.
Texas, before you keep whining about how hard it is to join us, please know there have been people that have had temper tantrums when they're no longer on the show. So you should feel very privileged, you jackass.
Yeah, I should point out that although you can't see me, I'm smiling because I'm so happy to be here.
All right, and going down the line, the last member of the panel. That's right, we got 5 tonight. King Kong Bundy would be proud. He is from the PlayStation side. He has not been on in a while, but he has not been out of our minds and our hearts. Klown for life. How the hell are you? You got the Death Star mic. What you drinking? What you playing?
It's good to be back. I'm drinking some Duclaw Brewery Dirty Little Freak, and I've been playing Destiny like it's a second job and getting in some time on the Titanfall 2 Alpha and the Battlefield 1 Beta.
At Titanfall Alpha, that's one big reason we got you on the show tonight, to get your weighing in on that. So let's, without further ado, I guess I should mention, I am currently drinking the usual, the Devil's Gap from Broken Bow, Nebraska, best state beer around.
Is that imported from Georgia, like your corn?
Oh, shut up.
Corn comes from Jersey.
Don't you have a campfire to go to?
Actually,
One night we should have a blind corn taste test. We'll send them some Jersey corn, some Georgian corn, and some Nebraskan corn. Have them blindfolded. See which
I'd
one
catch
the
the
best.
spray tan on the Jersey corn right away. I know that'd be off.
That would be worth broadcasting back with our cameras live for that.
I will make Digital suffer through an
Oh,
episode.
God. He'll quit. All right.
He would do that.
And I'm playing, you know what I played? I dusted off Destiny last night because I couldn't get into the damn Battlefield beta. Because the script kiddies, the little twats that mamas think they're still special, they'll need safe spaces and trigger warnings when they get older, had to ruin it all. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so let's get on with a little bit about Wednesday night community nights. As always, refer to the calendar at grimreapergamers.com. That is grimreapergamers.com/events. Correct, Jack?
Yes.
All right. So Monday Night Halo, we're still getting a lot of people. Over a dozen people showed up on Monday Night Halo with a lot of customs going on. It's still a good time, Jack.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what the guys find on the Forge maps, the custom maps. I mean, just the stupidity ones. We had a game called Infected where people ride warthogs, but instead of the warthogs look like pigs, and you're in this farmland, and you kind of had to splatter the other Spartans. And every time someone died, they became a pig and a warthog. It's crazy. It's stuff. It's like so bizarre, but it's a lot of fun. And yeah, like I said, we are pulling like a dozen, 13, 14 people in, so it's a good turnout.
Halo's been around how long? 2 years?
Yes.
And still
Yes.
going strong. Almost 2 years, still going strong.
Yeah, it's probably one of our stronger nights, just with activity. Everybody seems to be all into it. It's just a night to goof off. We're kind of just horsing around, so it's nothing too serious.
Well, also with Halo, I mean, while we've never been a very Halo-centric clan, I mean, it's been a very popular title for so many years, especially multiplayer. So, it's just a testament of time how it can still do that when there's so many other competitors out there.
Yeah, it's great because I think they're just releasing they got a new DLC coming out. It's all free. I think it's their 9th free DLC. So you're getting pretty much almost every other month. You're getting new maps, new game modes, new enemies to fight in the war zones. They just continually add to it. And on top of that, they also introduce in the matchmaking community-made maps. So you have stuff like that. So it's not even stuff that they're making. They're introducing the best forged maps they find. So it's been a great title. I love it.
One of the best supported by a developer this generation, easily. I would say the other is GTA.
Yeah,
which
and I think everybody should follow that model.
I agree. More GTA nights coming. We've been on a little bit of a break. A few other things have come up, so we've been on a little break with GTA, coming back stronger than ever here in a couple weeks. Wednesday night community night, we had some Overwatch, had some customs going on there. A lot of guys still playing that game. A lot of guys still playing Ark, and we'll talk a little bit later about the Ark expansion that just dropped today. Those Ark players aren't going anywhere. In fact, they might be jumping between a couple of different servers.
I'll give Overwatch credit. I haven't played a ton of Overwatch, but I didn't think it would have the legs that it's had. There's still guys in Discord chat or on the website still talking about Overwatch all the time, and for us, that's a long time. When was that? That was May or June?
May.
Yeah, it's been, especially for a title that's like that.
Especially summer.
Yeah.
So
And they're going to be releasing some new DLC as well soon. But
yep, they're going to be throwing some stuff out in the fall. So it's going to be another game we're big on. Continue to be big on. Battlefield was obviously one that we tried to play. Thank you, Script Kiddies. And then Destiny kind of came out of nowhere again, I guess. With the expansion coming out, everybody kind of drew their minds back to that, self-included.
Yeah, well, a few of us are have been dicking around creating, upgrading some of the Guardians we haven't gotten to 300 and above. I had a Warlock that was level 31 that I neglected. So Texas talked me into being the Sith Lord and like zapping everybody to death. So been working on gearing him up. So we've been playing it off and on for the last couple of weeks, trying to just get caught up.
So you're helping Texas out?
Yeah, I absolutely did. Ask Texas about my KDR last night.
Oh, I knew that would find a way to infiltrate this conversation. You have to.
What was that number?
I want to say it's 5.0. If I'm.
Thank you.
Okay. What was it? 20 kills, 4 deaths.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Was that it?
He had a good. Yeah, that was it. He had a good game.
That's it.
Well, now listen.
He had a pretty good night. We all had a pretty good night overall.
So
Overall, I was a little up and down. I had a couple of matches that were a little off, but
we
shut up.
we have too much to cover in this episode, so I can't really go down the path I want to go around right now. The expansion's out in a couple of weeks, right?
20.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Is everybody, the 4 of you guys, all getting it? Definite?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I expect to see a good sized group play it. We already have guys looking at doing some raids before we go to the next expansion. But I expect a lot of GRG to be getting it and playing it. And it'll be something that they'll be playing for a long, long time. I expect for at least the next 6-8 months to be like hardcore.
Do you think we're a year away from Destiny 2 at this point? They keep kind of putting out these expansions instead. Do you think next year's another expansion, or you think it's a Destiny 2 totally redone?
It is supposed to be Destiny 2 next year, and this is going to be the last expansion for original Destiny.
Yep. Next year's going to be 2.
Yep.
Just in case your first Destiny really wasn't your Destiny, so the second one is your Destiny.
It's our density.
A density, yes. And you had an up and down night, so like you got like 1 kill one match and 0 kills the next.
I didn't do bad. I mean, okay. Well, we already know I am not the most skilled gamer in the community. Okay, we already know that. We don't have to rehash.
That's putting it lightly.
You play video games?
Fucking hate you all.
Oh, I would actually, Johnny, as your friend, I do want to help you out here with this. We work really hard on this podcast, and especially Johnny as the host. He puts a lot of time and effort into this. So
waiting for the butt.
The listeners out there, if you could Amazon wish list a working right trigger controller for Johnny, it'd be really helpful.
Well, you know what? I'll give him credit. He was not the worst player of the night.
Oh.
We had one guy go 0.0 KDR one round. Not going to mention names. Great one, but just 0.0. I'm like, what in the world are you doing?
That's
and
Blutarsky.
Stop doing that.
The Blutarsky number.
0.0.
All right.
I mentioned names. Great one.
Moving on.
Yeah, and moving on. And remember, GRG is not about skill level necessarily. It's about adult gamers trying to get away from the rugrats and the squeaky ass little voices. Thank you very much.
Yes, if you don't have a working controller, we still will let you in.
We have a wide range of skill, when it comes to most games, but I feel like I see it most on Destiny. And it don't matter. We'll all play. Might make fun of you, but
just remember,
it's all fun.
Somebody's got to hold up the bottom for the rest of you fuckers.
Yeah, some of us know how to tie our shoes. Some of us are allowed to use the oven and sharp objects. Yeah, bunch of skill levels here.
Says the guy who vapes.
Leave my friend alone.
It's just fucking.
I'll defend you, Johnny.
But Johnny, you did get an exotic drop, if I'm not
I got an
mistaken.
exotic. I'll tell you what, the RNG was nice to me that night. So
Bungie felt so bad. They're like, "Holy shit! Look at this dude.
just
We
like,
need to give him something."
just like Pacino said, just when I think I'm out, they pull me right back in.
And then Ark comes out with an expansion, so you're gone already.
So I'm out. So like Kramer, I'm out. You know what though? I mean, I got, like I said, but that's pretty much why I'm getting 2 major releases this fall. You know, Destiny and Battlefield will be my releases this fall. And that's because of the Ark expansion that just dropped today. So, all right. So going further on Community Night, let's keep this moving. GRG WrassleMania 2 Digital is working on getting a setup night for custom battle royals where we create our own wrestlers and go through the battle royals or ladder matches. The more the merrier. That's coming soon. I think that might be in a week or so.
Who won the last one? I don't think we discussed that yet.
Digital.
Oh, he cheated and won. So
I had a decent match with him, but he was tough.
I wish that game was just more button mashing, so we could all just
yeah,
hit buttons and that's it.
That
They
really
tried to
killed
do
that game for me.
They tried to get too technical, but I think an occasional WrassleMania night or GRG night, you know, GRG Raw, whatever we want to call it. I think an occasional night with just us screwing around battle royals and stuff, that'll still be pretty fun. But overall, yeah, they tried to get too much technicality, tried to make it too UFC like. So, all right, so bi-weekly Thursday night, obviously not this Thursday because we're recording, but next Thursday we're doing Battlefield 4. And Klown himself will be running Drunken Friday, Battlefield 1 Beta Edition tomorrow night, starting at 9 p.m. Is that Eastern time or?
It's
Brady
Standard Time.
Yes.
But
thank you.
Good job, Clown.
yeah, server depending.
Flights in the time. Got it. Yeah, obviously servers pending. Maybe have Battlefield 4 as your fallback.
Where's the backup?
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 is a backup.
So there you go. All right, let's get to gaming news. Now we've talked about the community. Madden 17 released 8/23. Going to give you a quick review. It's freaking awesome. Best football game in this gen. They finally got some things ironed out. The running game's a hell of a lot better. It doesn't feel as cheap. We are starting up a little short, a handful of us are starting up a community going on. Jammer, yes.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt at this point
okay.
for you, but I find I used to only play sports games, like back with PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 type stuff.
Yep.
And I found as Madden got further on, and Madden I would play tons of, that I can't find the right setting between pro and all pro. Pro's too easy. I suck at all pro, and I can never find that happy medium. And that has soured me on that series. I don't know if that's ever fixable though.
I think with the sliders, I need to find that sweet spot defensively on the CPU side, but otherwise I think I'm pretty dang close. And the closest I've been, because the thing I don't see now is the warping and the ridiculous guys over here on this hash mark and suddenly on this sideline.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff seems to be gone. And I'm playing right now on pro. I haven't gone to all pro yet to try that out. But right now I feel like I'm really close with just a couple slider tweaks, and I'm going to check a couple sites that specialize in that and see if I can find that happy medium. But it's really close right now, and with a slider tweak, I think I'll have it right there. And I mean, I felt like I was playing a really good football game finally.
Yeah, Texas had it too, but then it broke in half, kind of like somebody's back.
Oh man, that's uncalled for.
Leave my back out of this. It hurts from carrying Texas and Destiny all week long.
He's your quarterback.
I've never been a big Madden fan because it's just, to me, there's too much going on. I'm more simple with the, A to run and B to pass type stuff. But
Texas misses Tecmo Bowl.
I do miss Tecmo Bowl.
We all miss Tecmo Bowl.
NFL
Any
Blitz.
Any sports gamer misses Tecmo Bowl. I guarantee you that. Unless they're too young to remember it.
And fuck them.
Yeah, those millennials.
With the EA Access, I was able to try Madden 17. You get the 10-hour trial of new releases. And I played maybe an hour, and it is better than last year.
Oh, it's
Like
a
you
lot better.
said, the running game is much better.
Flow is so
And-
much better. The
and yeah,
flow of the
like,
game is so much better.
I didn't have much time to dig into it, but I did see improvements.
I played a few games already, and I really like it. I really like it. It's a strong version. They might have a few things to tweak yet, but I think with a couple patches, this thing is as good as next-gen football has ever been. In fact, I'd say it's probably the best football game in 2 generations.
Wow.
And yes, I will say it's better than 2K5.
Well,
2K5 was good, but it doesn't deserve the deity status. But anyway, moving on. No Man's Sky refunds are being offered by Steam, Sony, and Amazon. Now, Steam's a little bit trickier with this because you have to kind of get their hold of support if you played more than 2 hours.
yeah,
Sony
like
and
me.
Amazon are taking it back, no questions asked at this point. A lot of people disappointed in this game. Do you think this is all justified?
Well,
I
no,
don't have
you
I don't
didn't
have
play
No
it.
Man's.
You be
No,
quiet.
I'm just saying. I don't understand how they're refunding a game because it's bad. How many games have you purchased before that just are bad? I mean, just wrong, and you don't get refunds for that. Homefront. I got Homefront for the Xbox 360. Garbage game. I'm not getting refunded for that. I mean, I think I don't understand the logic for the refunds, and I think it's just I think it's wrong. But
I put 7 hours in. The only thing that's an issue for me is just the price point. It's not yet to be as you guys talked about in the last cast, because I actually did listen to it. When Enya was sleeping, and it's just the $60 price point. It's not a $60 game right now. It's an ARC $35, $30 early access game.
And I believe that was the point we made last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, last cast. Yeah.
Well, you get somebody like one guy. He spent something like 100 hours on his beginning planet. Went through
Well,
like everything you could possibly find.
I believe
and
that'd
then
be
moved
digital.
on.
No.
No. I mean, like
yeah.
somebody on other than.
Oh,
outside.
okay.
I mean, digital. It's expected.
Yeah.
Well,
that's true.
that game is a luck of the draw, because there's people that'll find a planet that's entirely filled with gold, and then they'll stay there forever, just mine it, but there's no purpose. You're just gaining money. It's basically just a farming game. It's perfectly up Grex's alley, except you can't AFK.
All right. As somebody who actually got the refund,
Because you were at 2 hours, right?
I was at 2 hours. I didn't have to go the extra steps. I was at 2.2 hours. Here is why I did it. As mentioned on the previous cast, and as Jammer summarized earlier, just a moment ago, this is an early access game, period. This is a game that should have been $30 to $40. I said that on the last show, and I'm going to say it again. And that is why I have returned my copy. The other reason is because of the fact that Sean Miller, the lead for Hello Games, first said, you're paying $60, you're going to get the DLC for free, since everybody's paying $60. That is what I paid $60 for. At that point, I was fine with an early access style game for $60. I was thinking anything else, the new DLC, was all coming free. A week after the game released, he tells everybody, well, if it's a little bit bigger DLC, we might have to charge for it. Bullshit. I am not paying $60 for an early access game that you're going to tell me I have to pay an expansion later on for something else. Now, if Steam brings us down to $40 at some point, I'll revisit. Especially if I know the DLC, what DLC is coming that's not extra.
John,
Jammy.
yeah, we got to move on. But from their perspective, what went wrong for them, I think, is it's like 11 guys that did it, right? They needed a PR person with experience in communicating to do the marketing for them instead of him doing the talking.
Exactly.
It's
And
very
I believe
he-
we made
yeah.
that point 2 weeks ago
Did
as well.
you? Okay.
I think we brushed on it. We didn't talk about it very long, but we did mention that he needed a PR guy.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Well, and that's all well and good.
No,
I
fuck
just
that
felt
game.
at this point, it's time to take it back, see what comes. If it comes to a sale, see if things get clarified, revisit later. I'm not saying it's off my radar, but I'm saying right now it's nowhere near my computer. All right. Speaking of early access, Ark has released an expansion called Scorched Earth. $20 extra on top of the main game. Both Xbox and PC have gotten the expansion. Ark is a great game. My question to everybody is, should there be DLC expansions by now?
And I'm glad you brought that up, John. And it's funny because we did not talk about this ahead of time. It's great that they're doing these type of things. The game's still an early access game. How about completing the fucking game first and then doing the shit? Clean up the Xbox issues. I think there's like frame rate issues and stuff, right, John, and stuff. I play more on the PC side.
Yeah, and a patch that dropped today has apparently increased the resolution and fixed some of the frame rate issues. Now I don't know how much, but it has done some of that.
They're doing the steps. I'm sorry, Texas, I'll shut up. But they're doing the steps now that they should be doing after a complete game. That's the next step you do.
I agree with the complete the game first sentiment. I mean, my first thought was how can you release DLC if you haven't even released the game? I mean, it makes no sense. But I was going to touch on the resolution improvement. I don't know all the technical terms, but excuse me, the menu and the what do you call it? The HUD looks a lot cleaner.
Or the HUD, yeah, the HUD.
Crisper. You can actually make sense of the words. It's not, you know how the Tribelog would be kind of blurred together a little bit, and you can actually make this out. You can read, you can read the information on the screen. I haven't noticed any frame rate issues. Again, not technical, but it just looks a lot cleaner. The colors seem to pop a little bit better.
And they did increase from what they thought was like 600 resolution, 600p to 720p, and then the HUD went up to 1080p. Is what they said in the patch notes. The one problem I don't have as far as frame rate is that the expansion and the main game are all working off the same engine. So as long as you're not working off different engines, frame rate issues are going to be fixed when they're fixed for either one. I do agree this is probably a little bit early. Having said that, I did buy it because I feel like I've gotten my money's worth and then some between two copies. I mean, I've paid a total of, I think, $60 for the game between PC and Xbox. I have gotten more than my money back on both of those. I'm willing to throw money at those two expansions, or the expansions for each of them, because they do still have some communication out about how their new patches are coming out for the regular game, along with what's coming out in the future for Scorched Earth, which, by the way, is basically Game of Thrones meets Ark. It's in a desert format. There's dragons. I think Digital said there was a camel in there, so I'm going to be Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh God.
Know I was putting that one in after I did it on Discord.
Nobody but me, Farmer, and Digital know about the stupid-ass names that you name your animals on the PC version.
Hey, just because I named my raptors after the Pac-Man ghosts.
Yeah. Moving on.
That was great. Anyway, Overwatch Season 2 started. Jack, you put this one in here.
Moving on.
Yes, I did. Moving on. They got Season 2 started today. There's been some changes, the addition of some skill tiers. Before it was like 1 to 100. Now they're ranking skill rankings from 1 to 5,000. There'll also be there'll be 7 different skill tiers: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, and grandmaster. So I guess it's a way to weed out the different levels of players. Also, the removal of sudden death. I don't know. I didn't play Season 1, and I know a lot of people like Overwatch. I'm kind of iffy on it anymore, so we'll see. I don't know if I'll be playing this, but...
Well, there's still going to be a strong community out there at GRG playing it. I mean, there's still some guys that are all over it.
Yeah, we have a pretty solid group that that are playing, and they'll be doing the season 2. So I know Mac, Hogart will be playing, a bunch of other guys. So there'll be definitely a few teams running for season 2.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to throw this one right up your alley there, Jack, since you threw
Signing
this
off.
one in on me.
Moving on.
Non-extreme nerds probably want to skip forward a little bit on the show, but we're talking World of Warcraft, the Legion expansion release. Oh my God, the nerdy podcast just got nerdier, Jack.
You know what? How dare you? How dare you? You're playing Ark, pooping in someone's backyard in that game.
I am not.
How dare
My
you?
Rex is pooping, not me.
Yes,
You're pooping.
you're right.
Oh.
How dare Johnny? You rip on Johnny for that. While you're busy, go collect 10 flowers.
There's no flowers being collected. I'm a warrior, and I'm kicking ass. So the new Warcraft Legion expansion pack came out. I've been kind of like not doing anything for MMOs, and I like to play those when I'm not gaming on the Xbox on a down night. Just kind of sit back and relax. The new expansion offers a new class, a Demon Hunter. It's some elven race class trained to fight demons. Woohoo! Some new weapon artifacts, so you can custom tailor your end level guy, different play styles, a bunch of new zones, some new dungeons, and they even give you a instant 100 level upgrade, which I have not used yet. So I did purchase Legion, and since I haven't played Warcraft in 5 years, I decided to just kind of start over. So I'm starting over. I think I'm a level 10 warrior, and
How much was Legion?
$50. So I bought the deluxe edition, so that was a little bit more, but I got a special mount and a special pet. And
How many nerds are out there so angry that you got an instant level 100?
everybody got it for the upgrade.
Yeah, but
so
those nerds that are building their guys up.
I have a bunch of characters left over from the last or 2 expansions ago that are max level. So
Now, people say that WoW has caught up to the times and plays a lot better. Now, I think you have said that's not true.
yeah, I think they've done a lot. They've definitely upgraded and definitely streamlined the game and made it a lot easier to play, especially for casual people like me. But it is missing some of the stuff that you expect from modern MMOs, like mega servers. Like there's like I think 300 servers for WoW. So now if you want to play with your friends, you have all these different servers or different factions. I think you can still kind of hook up and game with them, but it's kind of confusing, especially if you're a new player trying to figure out where you want to go, what you want to do. Most modern MMOs will just have like a mega server, like Elder Scrolls. Just there's no 300 servers. It's you pick your faction and you're playing the game and you're good to go. Things like that. It's missing, but WoW definitely has a lot to offer. So I'm looking forward to seeing the game in the later stages.
I do. I want to thank you for this because I've always wondered if it's possible to fall asleep with your eyes open, and you just proved it is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In all seriousness, I could joke about the MMOs and the neckbeards, but let's face it, gaming is gaming. We all love gaming, whatever type. My biggest thing was the subscription. That's why I never got into WoW. So, but I'm sure it's a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, the $15 a month, I can't justify. I am a more casual player.
Yes.
So
that's well put. Instead of, you tend not to, minus Arc, you tend not to sink your teeth in the game. So,
but
you paying
sometimes it's
$15 a
time.
month is not worthwhile for you.
It's just time. My time is not consistent. I have my weeks where I can put in 50 hours. I have my weeks where I put in 2.
Yeah. Well, I looked at it this way. I was putting the $15 into Elder Scrolls. I was playing that. So I canceled that. Moved it over to Warcraft. And it'll be something I play maybe 6 months or so. We'll see how it goes. It's just something to do on off nights when there's not a GRG event and I just don't feel like being social. It's my solo single player MMO.
Yeah, I'm downloading it now.
It's all right.
Nice.
It's all right. It's all right.
Now I'm uninstalling.
Get your game on, like we always say. So, mentioned here, I think, Klown, you might have thrown this one in. PS Plus September free PS4 games. Lords of the Fallen. Somebody put in here Light Souls. I'm gonna guess this is Klown that put this in, because even though I know what the PS games are, Klown's our PS guy tonight. And Journey, I've heard a ton about this game. I have never played it, and they're available on the 5th.
Yeah, supposedly that's what they refer to Lords of the Fallen is. Instead of Dark Souls, it's Light Souls. It's basically in the realm. It was inspired by Dark Souls, just not as punishing. So I'm looking forward to that. That game kicked my ass.
All right. All right, so now for the main topic tonight. We're not doing necessarily a roundtable purely in the strictest sense, but we're going to talk about some of the betas coming out. The two biggest betas are Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1. Klown, we got you on for Titanfall. You're our big guy that's done the Titanfall stuff. Titanfall 2, the alpha, just hit. It has some, a couple Titans available. 6 are going to be available at launch. Why don't you talk about what you know from the beta, what your thoughts are?
Basically, out of the 3 game modes, I didn't play the pilot versus pilot. I played the bounty hunt, which was very enjoyable. It's one of the new game modes, and it has one of the only game modes that they have that I know of that has AI still, because it plays into the whole getting the money so you can deposit it into the bank for kills. Amped Hardpoint is basically Hardpoint from the first one, only they've turned it around to where if you stay on the point, it gets amped. There's no AI in that now, so it's just player versus player, which is nice.
Wait, so those little bots are gone?
Yeah, the little bots are gone, and
well, that sucks for like me and Johnny, because I mean those were easy kills for us.
Yeah, well, we got to play bounty hunt. Bounty hunt, they're there.
Okay, they're in there, so that's just different mode. All right.
Yeah, you'll know that you're killing the bots because the bots can't kill you. Basically, don't kill you. If you die, you know another player killed you.
Yeah.
But they're instituting a couple new things. They got what they call networks, which is a clans functionality. And I know Aslan set up a GRG on the Xbox side. I set up a GRG network on the PlayStation side. And one of the cool things you can do is you can designate a happy hour. So from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day, we get double credits for our happy hour, which fits in with our drinking schedules. Some of the new things that they had is now you have to earn your Titan. I mean, I think they're going to tweak it to where you're going to get a little bit, a little bit of, what's it called? Momentum as it goes on, but it's not going to help you out. You still have to get kills and stuff like that and play the objective to get your Titan to come down.
Yeah, and I didn't play it, Klown, but one thing I've heard is that the Titans don't come as easy, so there's not nearly as many Titans happening on the field. So is that really for like a me or Johnny who aren't as skilled? Is that's going to hurt us in a sense, because probably the skilled people are going to get the Titans and just flatten everybody.
It's not, because you don't necessarily have to get kills to get your Titan.
Okay.
Just
you can get objectives.
Another new thing that they have is where they have batteries throughout the battlefield. So if you pick up a battery, you can jump on a friendly Titan and put the battery in. It gives them an extra shield, and it gives you a big boost towards your Titan. Also, rodeoing other enemy Titans, you pull out their battery, and you can give that to your own people, and it boosts your Titan up. So they've added in new things other than just kills. The grappling hook that they added, it adds to the game, especially because of the verticality, but it takes a little bit getting used to. I didn't realize that it was momentum based. I was used to the grappling hook from Advanced Warfare. So all of a sudden I threw this grappling hook as I'm going, and I'm just like, I'm not going anywhere. And it's like, oh, it actually goes with whatever way you're swinging. So it's pretty interesting. So you feel like Spider-Man at points.
Your grappling hook, I always think of Bionic Commando. That old game.
Yeah.
I was thinking Just Cause.
Yeah.
That's the one I've always used the grappling hook on the most.
Does Titanfall exist in Mexico?
I haven't seen it, but
see.
Yeah, no, I played.
It's that damn wall.
You did play the first one?
I did. I didn't care for it, so I haven't even looked into the second one. But I have heard that it is much better. It's a lot easier to play this time around, and I've read that people are enjoying it more than the first.
You make a valid point there, and I think that's going to be their biggest issue. Is it seemed that they had people that liked it, they had a smaller crowd that was mixed, and then they have a big crowd too that didn't like it. And I don't know if they can convert those people that didn't like it, even with the changes they made, to move over and give this one a try. Like Jack's already not getting it.
Yeah, it's
Texas
a no
is
buy
leaning
for
that
me.
way too.
Yeah, I Titanfall 1, I didn't like it at all. It was not a game for me, so I didn't even look at Titanfall 2. I have heard from the community, from a lot of the Xbox guys, that they love it, and it's a lot of fun. And I know I expect to have a decent amount of people playing it, believe it or not. So
Yeah,
I could be wrong about it, but I know at least a full crew. They were all talking how great the game was. So
I think we're going to have a good group playing. I still think, as I mentioned as we talked about in last week's or last show, God, I want to say last week. I mean 2 weeks ago. But anyway, our last show, we talked about how we thought the release dates being so close together between Battlefield 1 and Titanfall were going to hurt this game. And I still think that's going to hurt to an extent. I think we're going to still see a good, strong contingent from GRG playing this game, but I still think overall we're going to these two are going to kind of, I think Battlefield's going to get the bigger audience and hurt Titanfall. This might have been a better spring game.
yeah, I think it probably would have been a better spring game. It may have a little bit more legs on the PS4 side since they did not have Titanfall 1.
That's a good point.
So that should be interesting to see how that pans out.
Well, I mean, some of the positives is, I played Titanfall 1 on the 360, so I didn't get to play it on the Xbox One. I got to see it. My brother had it. But, obviously the graphics were a big upgrade for me. But matchmaking, I heard, sucked across the board on Titanfall 1, and matchmaking is solid. Gunplay's solid. I had no issues, even though it was technically a pre-alpha version from June. We had no issues either weekend. Hey, it's not Battlefield or COD, but it's offering an interesting alternative. If you don't feel like buying into or drinking the Kool-Aid of either this year.
Yeah, that's a valid point. It's like the guys. I remember when the first one came out. That was like the next big thing is what it was supposed to be, and I think partly that hype of that hurt the game. Because it was like that was like the next, that was going to be the major game wasn't on the one, I think, too, right?
Yeah, that was like the big selling point for the one.
Yeah, it was Titanfall was coming, and when it didn't live up to those expectations, that really hurt it. And so, how 2 could be successful now, overly, it's a big uphill climb for them.
Yeah, I agree. You'll probably get more legs on PlayStation than you will on Xbox, only because they're going to need a little bit of, a little bit more proving behind them, because some people are salty from Titanfall 1, but I think they're going in the right direction with Titans. They've got 6 now instead of just the 3. All 6 are different, and they have different abilities. You can follow our Titanfall thread on our forums, www.grimreapergamers.com. I'll just add plugs in there for Johnny. And also, they're doing free DLC this year. So that was one thing they learned from Titanfall 1. I heard Titanfall 1 was basically a complete game after all the DLC.
Which down the road it was free. That DLC, they were pretty maps.
Yeah,
they're very
Yeah, they added a lot. I think the biggest problem was there was a real lack of content when that game first came out. There was no campaign, there was no single player or co-op campaign.
Why do people bitch about that, John?
Here's why people bitched, because it was $60.
It's $60 for Call of Duty. How many fucking people played a campaign?
But there's still campaign there, and I would also say that the multiplayer stuff was lacking for $60.
And they have a single player campaign this year too, and supposedly a really damn good one.
because people bitched about it.
And that's why the alpha wasn't put out on PC, so that way no one could data mine the stuff for the single player.
Games like that, or Call of Duty, or Battlefield, I'm buying for the multiplayer to play with my community. So whether it has single player or not, and I pay $60 and I never touched the damn single player game.
I still think that it was lacking even just multiplayer wise. You know that I don't buy these for the campaign either. But I still don't think that the multiplayer was complete, not for $60, especially when this is a multiplayer only title. And I would not mind a pure multiplayer title like this, but I just felt like they didn't have a lot of content overall. And I think that's the whole thing. Multiplayer was still lacking, no single player, still $60. Not exactly a AAA release at that point. I think once everything came out, you had more of a AAA release, but people had to pay extra to get stuff that probably should have been around for $60 in the first place, or bring it down to $40. Then you have DLC.
We do have to move on, but I think it brings up a good issue. Maybe we could talk about more down the road, is that a multiplayer only game probably should be maybe like a $40 price point. But the problem being is that with servers and everything, there's a higher cost to them on the multiplayer side than there is on developing the campaign. So they can't really do that.
So add more maps. Again, you're probably right. This is something for another show. But you bring up good points. All right, let's get to the... do. Jesus. Freaking inflated your ego over there at the camp.
I'm a professional co-host.
Are you a seasoned podcaster?
I'm a seasoned podcaster.
All right, let's talk about the other big beta, alpha, whatever you want to call them, early release type of test, pre-release test. Battlefield 1, which really came out of the gate stumbling thanks to some script kiddies and possibly a few issues of their own. I love the Battlefield series. I will admit there was a lot of problems getting on. I never played it because I was stuck at loading screens and failures left and right. Some good people got in the early day because people who signed up got it a day early when the servers weren't as flooded. Then script kiddies, little shits in their mom's basement, got in and screwed it all up for the rest of us. Nothing much happened last night. As we mentioned before, a lot of us jumped to Destiny here in GRG. Do you guys that played it, what did you think of Battlefield? Because I didn't get a chance, thanks to little assholes.
Before people have played it, let me and the DDoS thing's a separate thing. When you guys are bitching about a beta, I never get that. I just can't understand that. Now, Battlefield, how can you bitch about a beta on Battlefield when Battlefield never works out of the gates? How the fuck do you think it's going to work in a beta? It's not. It doesn't work in release, for Christ's sake.
And that's exactly why we bitch, because the fact is DICE has had several iterations, and I think the last one that went off without a hitch was Bad Company 2.
That's my favorite one, shooter of all times, Bad Company 2.
Because it was the first one you could play on release.
I mean, if you had these kind of errors with a company that created their first entry into this genre, it'd be understandable. Battlefield, let's get their shit together. It's not their first, rodeo. They know what they're doing here, and they continually stumble, and it's just every single time. It's kind of frustrating. I mean, the DDoS attacks are one thing, but there's a ton of bugs in this game, and it's amazing that something like this gets out. It's like, at some point, aren't you embarrassed? Like, every time you release something, it's no good.
Do they get your $60 on release every time?
Yeah, they do.
Well, then what do they give a fuck?
Yes, Klown.
All I gotta say is I played the beta for Battlefield 4, and I had it pre-ordered before I played the beta, and I canceled the pre-order after that beta, and did the same thing with Hardline. I had it pre-ordered, and after the Hardline beta, I was like, nope, this game's not for me. I own both of them now, but
Don't make Texas cry.
I mean, after playing the beta, I was like, these games, just on a gameplay standpoint, I'm like, these aren't for me. But I mean, with this beta, I haven't canceled my pre-order because, I mean, we'll get into that later, but why I haven't. But I mean, it was, to me, the gameplay itself was where I thought it was going to be, and I just hope it gets better.
I agree with that. The gameplay is what I expected. It's Battlefield. You know, it looks a little different. To me, I got a Battlefront vibe off of it. I can't remember the name of that map, but they look real similar. You know, obviously made by the same company, so
Was it the Jakku map?
possibly.
Yeah, and I gotta agree with Texas there. I mean, the game really feels and looks like Battlefront, which is a good thing because I thought that was a great looking game. I mean, it may not offer much, but Battlefront was a gorgeous looking game, and you can tell that those enhancements are in this game, and that's what's upsetting because you have Battlefront, so obviously they built on this technology. How do you not? I mean, really, this is kind of a reskin. Like, how do you still have these issues?
Now, Battlefront has its own issues, really.
Well, that's just a boring
It's
game.
$20 now, so that tells you something.
Well, I think that was a content issue. Gameplay was solid. And by the way, DICE's beta for that actually did work well.
Yeah, it did. Yep,
We didn't have problems with that. So that's the other killer now is that they go back to Battlefield, and every Battlefield, like I said, other than Bad Company 2, has been a pain in the ass.
I mean,
I know I pay the $60 every time.
But let's look at this. I mean, I pressed the start button to bring up the menu, and you get stuck in the screen. Your menu's not loading. Your gun's down. You can't do anything. 60 seconds it takes to load the menu screen. So you're standing there like in the middle of the battlefield. You can't get out of it. If you accidentally push it, I mean, how does that stuff get by? It's
like the beta map it's a bigger map.
I'm not a big fan of the beta map. It is a very big map.
Yes.
It's wide open spaces.
Supposedly, this is like one of the bigger maps they've ever made. But I mean,
it's not like you have fast vehicles. Yeah, there's not fast vehicles or anything moving around, right? So how do you play Russian stuff?
You can. There's a group of points that are kind of close together where most of the main fighting goes on. But then there's like these points that are like out in East Jabip that, you know, I've never even gone to. Like, why would you ever go there? There's no action going there. Like, but the two by each spawn points are so far away from anything else. It's ridiculous. And then there's E is all the way at the bottom, like in the middle of the map, but there's nothing. It's just a wide open desert. It's like, it doesn't kind of make sense.
You're never infantry. You're never getting there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. And I kind of think that maybe I'm kind of hoping that maybe this is just a beta map. Maybe there's more that's going to be added in the real game because it's kind of. I'm not a big fan of this map. I think it's really lacking a lot of structure, a lot of routes. I don't know. I think this stuff's not. The flag caps aren't positioned properly. I think some are real close together and others are like miles apart.
Did anybody get on horses?
Oh yeah.
How are they?
Have to.
I can't ride the horses. I suck at it. I was trying to like run somebody over or stab them with the sword. And I just get killed.
Hard steering or what?
Oh
yeah. It's
everybody knows how good I am at vehicles on Battlefield.
Oh God,
But-
poor horse.
It's just awkward, man. I don't know how to describe it. It feels awkward.
I've never rode a horse, but I can just expect that that's probably what it feels like. Riding a horse and trying to put it full gear towards people shooting. But
it's a little. I kind of expect it to be like a motorcycle from like Battlefront 4, where and this is it rides a little bit different. They probably try to emulate what a horse is. So I mean, I kind of get what that's.
I mean, I've gotten some sword kills off the back of it. I got was it because you can't aim when you pull out your rifle on the back of a horse? So I got basically a no scope from distance off the back of that guy. Must have been mad, but.
Well, if somebody masters the horse riding and they get like planes or whatever, could they dominate a match on a horse or no? So not like a chopper in the sky. Like
no, I mean, you know, if they get within enemy lines, within some buildings, you know, homes or what have you, in a city, yeah, I mean, they can probably rampage a few block radius, you know. But in this map in particular, there's quite a bit of wide open spaces. So in that regard, no.
Pro tip: don't shoot the horse. Shoot the person on the horse, and you win.
Right.
And that's a pretty easy target. So I mean, once you get used to where to shoot on the horse, you're shooting the person. You can drop somebody. I mean, but if you turn a corner as a horse there, you're kind of fucked. But if you have some distance to put a few shots on them, you're going to drop them. I felt the planes. I've been in a few. The hard part about this game, about the beta, is everybody wants to get in the vehicles. so they're never there to spawn.
Well, then you're totally fucked on a big map.
Yeah, well, it's kind of frustrating because we played the first night it was released, and we couldn't get in any tanks, and we didn't have anything. So we had like our randoms. They would just ride the tanks out to like nowhere and then leave them. They were just useless. You couldn't even get into them. They got destroyed, and they're out in the middle of nowhere, so you'd have nothing to spawn off of. They're weird. It's hard to like aim out of them. You don't have really good sight. If you're shooting one of the side guns, like one of the cannons, it's really difficult. So you're almost better off as an infantry, like hugging the tank because they can't shoot you. It's really difficult to see, which I guess is kind of emulating what those tanks were back in those days. So.
That was going to be my point. Is I'm okay with that because I really feel like that's pretty authentic. I mean, looking at the way those things are built, I mean, how are those even able to traverse terrain? You know. But I do agree it is pretty difficult to shoot out of them. Man, I don't play objective. I get my sniper rifle. I find a high point. I'm gone. So that's all I was worried about.
I hate Texas as a teammate. I like to be on the other team.
Klown.
One of the problems that I had so far that I've seen is it seems like people only pick scout or assault. So it's either you're killing the tanks or you're sniping. I mean, it's like I spawn in as a medic, and I'm like the only person running around like handing out medic packs. Or if I spawn in as, I mean, I don't know if it's just on the PlayStation side. I was like, no one gives me a medic pack, no one revives me. I alert all the medics, and I'm just like, nope, nobody, because everyone's too busy sniping from distance. I mean, sniping in the game is a lot easier than Battlefield 4. It's more on line with a hard line, so that's nice.
I think people are kind of just really fucking around in this game in the beta because nobody is reviving, which is really odd. I personally like the medic's gun the best. That's my favorite weapon to use. The semi-automatic. They're the style guns I like to use. The support's not that bad. The big clunky sight gets in my way, but it's not that bad. I just want to touch one thing about the tanks real fast, which was kind of neat. I had a Battlefield moment. I'm sitting in the building. Shooting from like a window cover. Next thing you know, a tank runs through the fucking building, knocks it down, and goes right through. And I'm just sitting there and all like, holy shit! And that was kind of cool. So that was one of the things I kind of really liked about the tanks. It just went right through the building. They had total demolition. That the building came down. So that was kind of exciting.
That's why we love it. That demolition.
Yeah. It's like it was like out of nowhere. I'm like shooting. I see, I'm like, what the hell? And this tank's just rolling right through my living room.
I mean, I wish they had the alpha map that they had on this one as well, because I mean, you had the windmills that you could take down and snipe from and everything. But I mean, yeah, I mean, the DICE kills it with like basically making you feel like you're there on the battlefield with sound wise and everything. Like now that I have like the PS Golds that have the simulated surround sound, I'm like, it's nuts.
I think with the sniper thing, and once again, this is actually something that might be a good topic some other time, is that the larger scale shooters, this is an inherent problem that's just never going to go away. Because we can get together as a community, and there's times we've had, even up to like 16 to 20 of us. You're still looking, we're not even half. We would be half of our team then. You're never... Unless you're in some massive community, which I don't even know if anybody could pull this shit together with adults running around with their heads cut off, you're always going to have randoms in there that are always taking sniper. Where a smaller field, like an 8 versus 8, we could get 8 GRG and communicate and work together and not have that happen. But in large scales, I don't know a way around that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I have to get over when I play Battlefield. I get so involved with trying to win and get the objective accomplished, and I have to just kind of accept the fact that it may not happen because my team's just being a bunch of fuckwads.
See, the solution to me is limit the number of classes. Break it out, divisible by 4, so you can have 8 snipers maximum and 8 medics maximum, and that would help some, but it still wouldn't solve the problem completely.
I don't know if that would work because then you got a game like where Texas wants to snipe and he's not allowed to.
Yeah,
well, we know Johnny
America.
showed up.
I can snipe if I want.
Especially since it's based off a squad, so it's like,
It's Texas party. He can cry if he wants to.
Go back to your wall.
Don't make
Yeah.
me do it.
There's no solution yet. You're going to get rooms that you just get snipers all over. For some reason, that's just a major problem in shooters overall, and then larger shooters like the Battlefield series.
What else?
It's like I do like the bayonet charge. I have been able to close the gap on somebody on a couple times with they duck behind a rock and all of a sudden I'm bayonet charging up to them and I stop just short of them and just lob a grenade in there. But
what I like about the bayonet charge is the fact that there's that cooldown afterwards. Like you kind of like exhausted and you're kind of slow. And I was watching on one of the website on YouTube, one of the videos and it was compared like running to a distance or bayonet charging to a distance, which is faster. And it was faster just to straight out sprint. So it's not something you would want to use like a long distance to go to, because after your bayonet charge, you kind of like walk real slow and you're an open target.
It's good cooldown. Good way to balance
Yeah.
it. All right. So we're looking forward to those games. I mean, we're going to be recruiting heavily. We're going to see a lot of people coming in. We're starting to see a few come in for Battlefield already off of the beta. Fall's hitting, kids. Prepare your wallets, your anus, whatever. We're going to be starting to get hit with the bill for all these games coming up in the fall because they never distribute them very well. So, all right. Let's talk about a little more on the clan or the community going on. I want to welcome new members. We did have a few, and we're going to see an influx now with the Battlefield beta and the Titanfall beta. Starting to show up. It's fall. Time to batten down the hatches, get ready for the new blood to show up. So if you're thinking about joining us at GrimReaperGamers.com, hit that join button. We're ready to bring you in and get you in the games. We are about 2 months away from Extra Life. November 5th, Saturday, November 5th specifically, is the big Children's Miracle Network fundraiser. We will have Battlefield and Call of Duty out by then and ready to go. We're going to be raising money for a great cause, helping kids research, helping families with their bills, helping the kid, helping try to stop these just awful diseases like cancer and all the other stuff, trying to get some headway on that and help these kids out. So great fundraiser at GrimReaperGamers.com. Look for the Extra Life subfolder under general discussion. Our next show will be on September 15th. We're going to be recording 2 weeks from now. Who knows? Maybe same cast of characters, maybe a few new individuals. On Facebook, check us out at facebook.com/GrimReaperGamers. Also on Twitter at Jammer.
grgamers.com and spell out the .dot.
All right. And also, we have a presence on player.me. Check out Grim Reaper Gamers over there as well. All right, guys. Thank you all for being on board. Had a big discussion, a big panel, and I think it flowed pretty well. So want to thank everybody for listening. Hey, remember, go on YouTube, Twitch, whatever, smack your peen against that subscribe button on whatever site we're on. Check out the past episodes and shenanigans on YouTube or on iTunes or Google Play for our audio-only version. So for Lala, Tex, Klown, and Jammer, this is Johnny Hustler saying, take care, have a good next couple weeks, get your game on.